routines are never supposed to feel restrictive or like strict. They're just supposed to be something that, like you said, it grounds you, like it's your foundation.
I know I'm going to get movement in every day. I know I'm going to do something to get hotter, happier, healthier, wealthier.
If you go on your phone first thing in the morning, this is so dangerous, you guys. I have so many reasons that I could give you. Routines can be messy. Like you also want to avoid like an all or nothing mindset with your routines.
100%. Just sit down and make the time.
Yes, yeah.
To actually like put it on the calendar.
Oh, let me just doom scroll for a little bit and then I'll do my morning routine. No, you have to do it first.
Cute.
Yay.
Love it. Okay. Hi guys, and welcome back to the Wealth and Wellness Studio. Caitlin and I are on a roll today. We are just like zooming, yapping, talking about all the things to help you build your dream life. So I'm really excited. Last week we talked about building your social media from 0 to 1. But if you guys don't know already, this is the most ADHD intro I've ever done. This podcast, the Wealth and Wellness Studio, is here to help you not only get wealthy and healthy, but also to become the hottest, happiest, healthiest, wealthiest version of yourself and help you build your dream life. So this has really just been me taking you on the journey from zero of like not having a business, not doing anything, to making 6 figures. And one day you'll see us hit 1 million and more and have families and all of the dreams that we have in life. So this is really taking you on the journey and showing you the behind the scenes of the process and just kind of yapping away about what are the daily habits that are helping to build our dream lives and what is helping with that. So if you guys are not already, please subscribe, watch the video version of this on YouTube, and leave us a 5-star review on Spotify. It would mean the world to me. So thank you guys so much for being here. Caitlin, what are we going to talk about today?
Okay, today we're going to go over our morning and night routines. These are so important and they're so much fun to create. So
you're the queen of routines.
Thank you. Yeah, routines typically keep me really, really grounded. And I'm not going to lie, I'm not perfect with them. And that's kind of like the beauty of them. Yeah, that is the point, is that like you're supposed to kind of let them ebb and flow, and it's okay if they change, but
routines are made to help your life, not hurt your life. I think this is like the biggest thing about structure in life is it's meant to be a scaffolding to help you create grounding for beautiful things in life, rather than like take away, like at least for me, the way I know everyone's different, but like a routine is meant to serve you rather than you serving the routine. Yeah. So like at a certain point in life, you have to understand like, what do I value? What is the most important thing to me? And sometimes like there's times where connecting with your partner or with a friend, who's like going through something hard is like more worth it than like making sure that you journaled a page that night. Yeah. And so I think a routine for me is like having a baseline to come back to, where on like the majority of the time in your life, you have habits that are grounding you, that are setting you up to make the habits that will build your dream life effortless.
Yeah. Routines are never supposed to feel restrictive or like strict. Like they're just supposed to be something that, like you said, it grounds you, like it's your foundation, and then you can build off of it.
It's like a gift to yourself. Like to have your, I love the way like my boyfriend says it all the time, but like your baseline like when you can create a baseline that's higher than most people's like best, it's better to have a baseline. I'm so betraying this.
Preston, can you cut it?
Yeah, cut it.
Get Preston over here.
It's better to have a baseline, like an elevated baseline where like your habits are building your dream life, better than to have like one perfect day.
Yes.
I'm so betraying it, but you know what?
Yeah. Like getting 1% better each day with just like habits that are just like instilled in you, and they're in like, they become second nature at a certain point. That's like the goal.
Okay. So are you a morning or a night person?
I'm a morning person for sure.
I'm like a mix.
Hybrid.
I'm hybrid. Sometimes I'm neither. Sometimes I'm both. And it really depends on the time of the year. And it also depends on like the season of life for me. I love both. Yeah. But I just can't do both at the same time, obviously. Yeah. What have you been enjoying recently? Morning or nighttime routines, or both? Like, what have you been?
Okay, my morning routine has always been strongest, which is a cue for me to that really lock in on my nighttime routine. So that's something that I'm working towards like later in the fall. But I will say my morning routine is like definitely my favorite. But what about you? Do you like a switch?
I feel like recently, because of like shoulder surgery, like only 6 weeks ago, it really threw me off a little bit with routines, because movement wasn't as accessible. And rest and recovery was so important that I actually feel like I'm actually excited about this episode because I have been in a little bit of a rut of like, I've been really intentional about trying to build my morning routine, but it's just been weird when all of like my normal tools and modalities are like gone. And then also I kind of wanted to preface this with when I first started being a business owner, I was so in like survival mode, not just in survival mode, but it was necessary at the beginning. Like my morning routine when I first started my business like 2.5 years ago was wake up at 6 a.m. and go work. Like that was
like the grind phase.
And it was necessary. But then there was a certain point where I was like, I don't need to be working 24/7 and like I can actually take care of myself. So I feel like earlier this summer, and we've spent a lot of time talking about this, but like I was like, I want to wake up in the morning and make time for me. So I went through a good period of time where my morning routine was waking up, going on a walk first thing in the morning. And then it was going to the gym and then making sure I was eating and then reading. And then like I would start my workday at like 10 a.m. So I've gone through like many phases where like it's been like mostly grind. And I don't think, just to preface before we get into what our morning routines are now and what we want them to be, it's supposed to evolve and change over time. And I think the most beautiful thing is for you to be intentional of like what is serving me the most in this season for my morning run at 10 routine and when do you work best, like all these other things. So with that being said, what's your morning routine right now?
Before I get into my morning routine, I have to preface this by saying the like biggest thing that you should be paying attention to right now is if you go on your phone first thing in the morning. This is so dangerous, you guys. I have so many reasons that I could give you. I'm going to give you 2 analogies of these analogies will stop you from going on your phone in the morning. First thing is think about your morning routine as like time for yourself in the way that you set up a date with a guy. Like when you go on a date with a guy, you go there and you sit and you pay attention to him because that's like respectful. Imagine if you went on a date with a guy and you pulled out your phone and you started scrolling on social media when he was right in front of you trying to talk to you. That is the exact same thing that you are doing when you wake up in the morning and the first thing you do is go on your phone. It is so disrespectful to yourself when you told yourself you were going to set aside time to be alone and like be intentional to go on your phone and start looking at what everyone else is doing. So that is the first analogy. The second one, and this is just kind of ties into the importance of a morning routine, is having a good morning routine is like setting your GPS for the day. If you set your GPS with the intention of, I want to feel really good today. I want to do things that are going to make me happier. I want to do things that are going to make me wealthier, like healthier, like all these different things. You're going to have a great day. Like that is you setting your GPS for the day. If you go on your phone first thing in the morning, that is the equivalent of getting in your car, driving aimlessly, and then setting your GPS later in the day. Like if you tell yourself like, oh, let me just doom scroll for a little bit and then I'll do my morning routine. No. You have to do it first.
Because you end up, even if you're being productive on your phone, you're being reactive to responding to fires rather than actually deciding where you want your day to go.
Yes, exactly.
Also, it's so funny when you say that because you'd be like, you would feel so stupid if you got in your car and you just drove aimlessly.
Yeah. And then you're like, I'll put my GPS in later. Like, no. You do it at the beginning. Like you figure out where you're going first and then you start going.
Okay. So what does that look like for you right now?
So the reason I started with that is because I used to have a terrible habit of that. Like I used to like be in bed, roll over, like get on my phone. Don't do that anymore. So I keep my phone in sleep mode. If you guys don't use sleep mode, you should be using it because it's so helpful. It quiets all your notifications. But basically, first thing I do is sometimes my alarm goes off. Sometimes I wake up naturally. But either way, I get up, I do my skincare. So easy. Like you always want the first thing in the morning to be something that's just so easy that no matter how tired you are, you can get it done. Yeah. So it's literally just washing my face. Sometimes I'll put some music on, but skincare is first. Then what I'll do is I'll start like being more intentional. So I'll go and sit somewhere other than my bed because getting like away from your bed is usually helpful, especially if you're sleepy. Yeah, if you're sleepy in the morning, I'll get some water. Chugging water is so helpful in the morning for waking up and you just get a head start on drinking enough water for the day. And then I will either journal or Bible study depending on how I'm feeling. If you guys want to start journaling and you don't know where to start, just go to ChatGPT, ask for journaling prompts based on whatever's going on in your life. So like if you're feeling overwhelmed right now, ChatGPT, just say like, hey, like, can you send me 10 journaling prompts for feeling overwhelmed? Easy. Start there.
So good. Yeah.
So simple. And then usually after like sometimes a half hour to an hour of journaling, depending on how much time I have, I'll go on a walk. Starting to get a little bit colder outside, so this is going to change. But I can still do it right now. I'll go on a short walk and I'll come back and start work.
So good.
Yeah.
I love it.
It's great.
That's a great morning routine. And I feel like you're very consistent with it.
Yeah. I love it.
I feel like our morning routines too, like have shifted over time. And like I had a period in spring where like my morning routine was waking up, and I feel lucky to have access to a lot of like wellness modalities. I love leaving the house first thing in the morning because otherwise I feel like I don't really get into routine.
Yeah.
So like for me, a lot of times I would either look like waking up and going to the gym or waking up and going to the sauna. And honestly, like after I would go and like do an activity, I would feel so freaking good. And honestly, I'm the type of person who does not get ready first thing in the morning. Like I just don't. Like, I mean, I'll brush my teeth and wash my face. And then I like to go and do movement or activity and then come back and get ready. I don't know why. Like I can't. Like it's really hard.
That's
for me
how
to
I
get
am
ready.
in the winter. So this is when my morning routine will switch. Is I will love going to the gym first thing in the morning in the winter.
We also had a period of time where we were going to like 6 a.m. power yoga.
Yeah, we'll probably get back into that this winter 100%. Too. Yeah, movement in the morning feels so good.
And this is where I'm saying like this shifts so much. So I'm going to talk about what I'm doing right now, but right now is such a unique period for me because I'm crippled. So, so honestly, I have
crippled morning routine. Here we go.
Crippled morning routine. So, and let this serve for you that like, this is my honest, again, this is not like a formula, like what you should be doing. This is just honest of like what I'm doing. Yeah. I have realized that like my nervous system, it was so important for me over the last 2 years. I was actually looking at photos of my face over the last 2 years. It was really insane to see like my weight has stayed around the same, but my puffiness has like completely changed.
Inflammation has gone down.
100%. And I realized that I think so much of this has to do with the fact that I let myself sleep now, and I don't wake up stressed anymore. So like one of the things that I try to do and again, this is not, I don't want to say always, because there's definitely weeks and days where I'll put something at 7 a.m. But a lot of the time right now, I'm trying to set meetings like after 10, 11, 12, like my afternoon, because I want my morning for me. And I try to let myself, again, I know this is a luxury because I've built my life this way, but I try to sleep in until I cannot sleep anymore right now. But I also know that my shoulder needs the healing. I know that my mind needs the healing. I know that my body needs the healing. And so for me, basically, I think a great morning starts with the night before. So I try to go to sleep. I'm working on going to sleep earlier, but a huge thing for me this summer was just like, let myself sleep in and wake up when my body feels ready, not when I feel pressure of like, I need to get up and start doing things. And letting myself actually lay in bed and even sometimes read in bed was a very healing experience for me because, but again, this wasn't necessarily geared towards productivity. This was actually more geared towards like regulating my nervous system.
Yeah, getting out of survival mode and everything like that.
Exactly. Yeah. And I knew that was my objective.
Yeah.
But again, like that being said, I also am very energized by waking up and doing things. So like we have had some like 6, 7 a.m. in the morning, like coffee dates where we're like journaling, reading, talking, and then getting to work. And like that also energizes me. I think it's just for me personally, which I think I can't wait to talk about the nighttime routine because I feel like that is so much more me. But in the nighttime routine, I feel like it's being intentional, being able to read your body and your mind and knowing what do I need in this season of life? What can I like afford to do in this season of life? Because sometimes it's not feasible, right? I may want to sleep in, but that wasn't a reality, right? So like, what am I able to do? And like, actually for me, a huge thing is deciding, like, rather than just like being in default routine and not actually acknowledging what your body needs. And like, for me, like there's times in my life where I'm like, and I know as soon as my shoulders clear, I'm going to be so excited to move that I'm probably going to be in like early morning movement. Yeah. That's not the season I'm in. So anyway, been sleeping in, reading, and then I have really been trying to go on walks. So like wake up and walk, or wake up, and I've really also been struggling with my appetite. So like that has been something that like I try to get myself to like eat if I can in the morning. Just because again, my movement level went from like so much, like 3-4 activities a day to like 0. And so with that being said, like my appetite has gone down a ton. So I feel like my morning has been really slow, getting ready, getting dressed, writing out like what I want to get done that day. And then like with like a regulated nervous system and like a clear mind, like then starting to like schedule whatever I have next. But
should we talk about night?
Yeah. Okay.
You go first. I want to hear your night routine.
Okay. My nighttime routine. Actually, again, this is a really funny episode for me because I'm realizing I'm like, do I even have that many routines? Like each day is like so different.
You probably do things. Yeah, you probably do things second nature too, though, that like most people don't.
That's true. I feel like I try to put my phone away like once I'm done with work.
Yeah.
So I normally like put it away around like 6 p.m. I make dinner. I actually, like, a lot of days, like tonight I'm gonna go sauna. I really love like sauna, anything detoxing. Sometimes I have a lymphatic drainage brush. Like I just try to do things to like regulate my nervous system. I try to either read or I journal a lot at night as well. I make dinner after my boyfriend and I eat dinner. A lot of times, like I'll watch like an episode of my favorite show. I'll turn it off and then I'll do my skincare. Sometimes I'll do a skin mask. I'll shower. And a lot of times I'll sit down and I'll look over my calendar for the next day, write out what I want to do the next day. What time do I want to wake up? And a lot of times when I'm going to bed too, I try to visualize like, how do I want to feel tomorrow? Like, how do I want to show up to my day tomorrow? And then kind of go from there. And
I feel like your superpower with your nighttime routine is that Nat is really good at having tools in her toolbox for everything. So like, I feel like you're never at a loss of like, oh, I don't know what to do, so I'm just going to like do nothing. Like Nat always has something to like pull out of like, this is what I'm going to do to feel better today. Like,
okay,
you know?
Actually, with that being said, for those of you who struggle with routine like me, this is actually something that's been really helpful. So I'm really glad you said that. But having a toolbox and being able to pick from it every day, like for me, I know I'm going to get movement in every day. I know I'm going to do something to get hotter, happier, healthier, wealthier. It's not always the same thing and it doesn't have to be like one day, again, unless you're following like a strict training program or like you have specific goals they need to follow, like one day movement can mean like yoga and a walk. Another day it could be like lifting heavy at the gym. Another day it could be lifting heavy and 10,000. Like there's so many different things that you can do. So like having an arsenal for your morning, having an arsenal for your evening, and then just sit down and make the time to actually like put it on the calendar.
Yes.
I think that's the most important thing for people like me. So,
yeah, I think that's huge.
Yeah.
That's kind of more how I structure my nights as well, because typically this is going to be very relatable for everyone. Our mornings can be really consistent, but our nights are typically different for like everyone, because sometimes you're hanging out with friends. Sometimes you're home alone. Like sometimes, or like if you're living with someone.
It's
like,
so funny because I almost feel like it's the opposite for me.
Really?
Like, the evening is the only thing that I know is consistent. My mornings, like some days I have a meeting, sometimes I don't. But that's because I don't.
So funny.
It's because I don't wake up early. So
yeah,
that's why.
fair.
Okay.
Anyways, but my night routine usually looks like, so typically I
go to
try
bed much later than you.
That's true. So I typically try not to eat like super close to bedtime, because you're just gonna be able to get into
and
deep
you sleep worse. Yep.
Yeah, you get into deep sleep a lot quicker if you're not eating right before bed. So I try and stop eating at least an hour before bed.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of what like starts the beginning of my routine. And then normally between that hour of like when I'm like before I actually get into bed, I'm either like watching one of my favorite shows, watching YouTube, journaling, things like that. I try and always journal before bed, but I'm definitely more consistent with it in the morning, just depending on what I did that day. And then skincare, brush teeth, read, bed. It's like very simple. Yeah, my morning routine is a little bit more of like an art. Like I love crafting like a perfect morning routine. Nighttime is a little bit more just like I know what like is going to make me feel good and help me fall asleep, and I just do it when I can. Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. I think this episode is so fun because it's so fun to hear what different people do.
Yeah.
I actually wanted to say one more that like I think what's the most important is like find what works for you. It doesn't have to work for everyone else, because like something that I learned was when I'm working on my client social media all day, like now that I have some systems, it's a little bit better. But if I'm working on client social media all day, sometimes my night, like when I was in bed, like 30 minutes before I want my 30 minutes before I go to bed. I don't know if this makes sense. Not right before I fall asleep. But honestly, in a lot of nights, especially in the past for a lot of seasons, but like I found I was so creative after a full day and I'm laying in bed and I would literally just like spam trial reels and TikToks.
That's awesome.
And that was a great time for me to do it. And like, I know like you can turn your blue light blocker or whatever off. You can wear glasses. Like there's so many tools, but like, it may not be like the healthiest, like tool or not healthy. I don't know. It may not be like picture perfect, but it doesn't really matter if it works for you. Like I made so much progress on social media when I would lay in bed and just spam post at night.
Yeah. Routines can be messy. Like you also want to avoid like an all or nothing mindset with your routines.
100%.
So like make a messy routine. Like what we were saying about having tools in your toolbox, pull out what you need. Like that still counts as a routine because you're still like going back to these activities that you know are going to be good for you.
Alex Hormozy said something one time that really stood out to me. He said, so many people get rich and build their dream lives by creating a product or service, selling it to a specific customer, doing that over and over again as many times as possible. And then they have free time. And then they build all these beautiful routines. And then they attribute their success to their routines. And they forget that the thing that built that for them was selling.
Yes.
And he's like, you don't need a 10-step routine.
Yeah.
And you can have horrible habits. You could drink 600 milligrams of caffeine and take nicotine all day and watch TV shows all night. And you can still be really good at selling XYZ and accomplish your goals. Is it good for you? No. But like, you can, right? So like, I just like want to be really clear that like Caitlin was saying, I think the most important part of your routine is it is an art with a toolkit of what is your goal and how do you make it as effortless as possible for you to do the things that are going to bridge the gap between your goal. And of course we want to be healthy.
Yeah. And especially as women, like you could like set up different tools for different parts of your cycle as well, because there's like, my morning routine is going to feel different in my luteal phase than it will in my follicular phase. So like, it's smart to be adjustable too. Like you don't want to be so like rigid. Rigid or firm that you can't make any adjustments based off how you're feeling.
And flowing with your energy. Like I truly think like if I'm energized, like I'm not sitting down to read 10 pages of like a poetry book.
Yeah,
like,
you want to go move, like go do something. Yeah.
And if I'm feeling really low, maybe I don't need a high rocks class that day. And it's like working with my energy has actually propelled me 10 times like forward. And it's so fun. And then those days when you have that jolt of energy at 5 a.m. and you're like, it's amazing. So,
that's so true.
Okay, well, thank you guys so much for listening to this episode. We will see you guys next week. And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and leave us a 5-star review on Spotify. We love you guys.
Bye.
Great.